Since the beginning of the year 2000, Somalis have been moving to the city of Leicester, seeking prosperity and to be part of the socially tolerant, multicultural society of Britain. As their number expanded, a growing number of services to cater for their needs arose, and that led to the establishment of the Somali Development Services by Jawaahir Daahir. The services began on a small scale, providing translation services for Somalis accessing the public services of Leicester and building relations with the Leicester City Council as well as other public service agencies. Early on, Jawaahir realised one of the key issues that SDS needed to address was the educational barriers newly arrived Somalis were facing. Thus, SDS began to conduct a research into those needs.
Because the research we did was covering, it was kind of comprehensive. It was covering all the Somali development needs. But education, because so many young children and young people were accessing schools and colleges, and they were new, so they had lots of problems in that transition period. We had identified that in terms of that comprehensive research, we didn't have opportunity to research in depth the problem. So we have advised the council to be conducted in-depth research into Somali children educational needs. So we had opportunity in 2004 to do that through Somali Development Services in partnership with the Montfort University. And that helped us to make a research into the Somali children education needs in primary, in secondaries, and in colleges, and be able to speak, parents, head teachers, in colleges, as well as Leicester Council Education Department. So we have again launched, the findings of this to the City Council and made, a very valuable recommendation. So one of the things was, key area was, that first, the assessment of young children were not, adequate because they have been assessed in English, while many Somali young children came from Holland or, other European cities, for example, Sweden or Norway, and couldn't speak English. So they couldn't assess the real ability or academical achievement of a child because the child couldn't speak the English. So one of our recommendations was to assess the children in a language they speak or could understand. So for example, in Somali, to be assessed in Somali, or they can speak in Dutch or in Swedish or in Danish, whatever language they speak, to be assessed in that language. The other things we have recommended was to have Somali assistant teachers. We have identified 22 primary schools, 3 secondaries, and 2 colleges where most of the Somali children, young people, were attending. And so we advised that in these, that they, appoint Somali assistant teachers that will help and facilitate the communication between the teachers and children, and as well as the teachers and parents. And that has been implemented. That was huge achievement for us and also for City Council.
SDS has expanded its services as the years went by, and they have been able to cater for many of the needs of the community, as Jawaahir explains.
Our services have grown gradually. And as I mentioned before, we started first with the drop-in session, and then we added to the Homo Club, support for young people. And we added, after our research into Somali employment needs, we added learning program where people, especially women, have been able to be educated in our center, having, ESOL classes, as well as computer skills, and having creche on site that could accommodate their children. The community services have been also able to accommodate other communities. So now Somali Development Services actually is not just for Somalis, although initially has been set up to help the growing Somali community in Leicester. But we help now everyone who comes through our doors, no matter their background, no matter their color or race or ethnicity or faith, we help all. So, for example, last year, 45% of our service users were non-Somalis.
Indeed, today the Somali Development Service's doors are open to all newly arriving communities from many different backgrounds, and they are able to use the services in order to develop their personal progress and achieve their potential.
My name is Sarfuddin Ismail.
And what do you come here to do?
I come class in English ESL.
How long have you been coming?
I coming in October, I think.
Since October.
October.
Okay. What do you think of the services?
I like teaching and reading and writing and speaking, learning in English.
Okay.
Class.
You feel you're making progress?
Yeah, I'm making progress.
Okay.
My life.
My name is Jilul Haq. I come English class learning English, and I like it. I am like well to everything, but I like teachers. I like Somalian people, like friendships, yeah, and for good for that class, and that's all.
Okay. Do you feel you're learning?
Oh yeah, I learn very good. That's what I find.
Okay. Well, what are you learning? Is it reading?
Reading, speaking, and writing, and talking. Yes.
Okay. And you're making progress?
Yeah, a little bit. It's all right. Little progress.
One of the key services that has proven to be particularly of need to these Somali women in Leicester is SDS's Family Support Services. Marian Anshour, who heads the services, explains how the services have supported the Somali women in Leicester.
The aim of the Somali Support Services is to support Somali families in different areas. And what I see here is the majority of Somali families living in Leicester are single mothers with many children. And on average, we did a survey in 2007, and we saw that in average, each family has 4.7 children. And this family, mainly, they are single mothers with children. The problem they have, or their needs are, for example, it's a parenting problem. The other problem they have is domestic violence. And there are a lot of women who are victims of domestic violence. And there is intergeneration conflict. And the parents and their children, they didn't understand each other. And we support what we call parenting training. We give parenting training to Somali women so that they know how to bring up their children in two different cultures, because the culture in the house and the culture in the main street is different. What I have seen is there are a lot of families who were supported through this service. Yes, last year alone, 200 families were supported.
As well as catering for the local community needs with regards to integration, SDS has been able to tackle issues of national concern, such as terrorism.
Over the years, there was a growing issue in relation to terrorism and labeling the Somali community that there's potential of element of terrorism. So we have done some work with Leicester City Council in terms of raising the awareness of the community. So we did a specific project towards that element. And the key aim was, firstly, to see how the community themselves see this issue. So we had sessions with only women, we had sessions with young people, we had sessions with imams from the mosques, and the key elements that came out from those sessions were that many Somali families were aware about the issue, but also found that a lot has been exaggerated. That the local government, or for example central government or the media, has really exaggerated about the issue. But there is element of recognition about there is certain Somali young people that has been targeted by certain groups. On the other hand, we have also always speaking out about that this kind of issues is very tiny minority. When you talk about terrorism and Somali community, this is something new to us. It's not part of our culture. It's not part of our religion. It's the things that we learned from being outside of our country.
Evident from the service users, SDS has grown to be a pillar for social cohesion and providing a stepping stone for all that live in Leicester to flourish.
magacayga waxaa la yiraahdaa Maxamed Daahir Cabdi. Waxaan Leicester deganaa 1st January 2003 up to now. And
Mohammed Daahir says he has lived in Leicester from 2003 until now in the areas of Highfields and St Matthews. He admits that the Somali Development Services are an organisation that has helped everyone regardless of race, ethnicity or religion, and he says that they have established confidence amongst all of the users of their centre.
Dadkan Asiaanka ama Soomaalida ayo color ama cadaan in oo tahay meel laga caawiyo.
Anigu waxa la yiraahdaa Maxamed Sheikh Bari. Waxaan ka soo guuray London. Haddii aan imaaday xaafadana waxaan
Mohammed Sheikh Bari says that he has moved from London. The SDS Centre has been able to give him the guidance he needed and the support that he sought when he moved to Leicester in order for him to settle in. He says that he is now able to stand on his own 2 feet.
lahaayeen ay igala shaqeeyeen ayagoo taas aan aad iyo aad raalli ay iigelisay wax walba ama ha ahaato wixii axwaalahayga fududaynayay iyo dejinteydii iyo wixii dhanba.
This year, 2012, Britain celebrates the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, and SDS has organised a street party in honour of the Queen's 60th anniversary. Many of the residents of Leicester have attended, including people from all ages and backgrounds, as well as public service providers such as the local police. It proved to be a joyous day where everyone that had attended had a great time, another milestone of local success for the Somali Development Services.